Welcome back, you bunch of string picking guys and gals, to the String Pickers channel here at my obscene studio. It is new guitar day. Looky, ladies and gentlemen. In my last video, you saw me working on Sarge, the Ibanez RG370DX that I used to own and gave to my son. After shooting that video, this showed up in the mail, so I thought I would do an unboxing for you. This is a guitar that I paid for, and it is a Fesley. Now, I have not gotten on the Fesley train. I have not tried Fesley. I have watched numerous videos about Fesley. Thought that, I think I might want to try one because I've been seeing a lot of good reviews. Now, granted, I don't pay much attention to the reviews that are guitars that Fesley sent to that channel. I look a lot for reviews of people buying the guitars and listening to their first impressions. I've not heard any gripes about this. So today we're going to unbox this. We are going to go through the run of it. We're going to look at everything possible on this guitar and just see how good of a guitar this Fesley FLP400 actually is. So without further ado, let's get to it. Need a trusty knife. I know my big knife is usually in here somewhere, but I forgot where I put it. So let's get into this thing. All right. Ugh. Make sure there's no end tape. There we go. Gonna have to clean that up later. And Fesley gig bag. You know, the one thing I'm glad of is that everybody got it in one of those big old huge boxes like they used to send out. They're not sending those out in the big huge box anymore. I got that one like that. The box was completely undamaged. So let's get a good look at this thing and see what we're dealing with here. Been wanting one of these for a little while. It's hard for me to pick guitars because there are some good budget brands out there right now. Let's see, we have a guarantee card from Fesley. We have an instruction manual, good for you beginners out there that's getting into learning to play guitar. And we have a Fesley strap. Doesn't look branded, although I can't see both sides, so it might be branded. And Fesley always sends these little sponges. They're like, I forget what grit they are. I think there might be 1,000. I'm not sure, but like for frettings, stuff like that, those are pretty cool. It's nice that Fesley thinks about things like that. And a pretty good amp cord. This is one of the reasons why I wanted to pick this guitar. One of the small reasons, not actually the big reason. But yeah, this is pretty cool. See, check that out. That's a high quality cable right there. I've seen a lot of budget guitars that come with cables that are El Cheapo. This is a nice touch. So that is all of our gig bag. See, oh, they sent some pics. That's a pretty cool thing right there. I'm going to have to clean that mess up too. And let's get into the good stuff. I like the gig bag. Oh, wait a minute. Right here is truss rod, Allen wrench. Gig bag is nice. It's a little higher quality than a lot that I've seen before. Got the neck rest in there. That's pretty cool. I like that. All right. Let's see. Kind of excited about this. They double bagged it, which is kind of cool. That's a nice touch little extra protection, not all that great of a thing to do, you know, if you're wanting to get into these things quick like I am. And we'll do what old Dave does on 6-string Stinger. From the headstock, you can already tell which one I got. This is the deluxe edition. Love the neck, feels good. No fret sprout up here. Looking good there. So let's get into it. Oh yeah. Yeah, that is absolutely beautiful. Let me get this wax paper off the strings here so you guys can see it in all of its glory. Ooh, sugar packet, sugar packet. And here I got 2 sugar packets. Man, I'm gonna go make a pot of coffee right now. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Fesley FLP400 in the camo finish. Now I understand that these have been out there for a while. They have been all over YouTube. I really, really, really like this guitar. Action is a little high for my taste. Absolutely cannot feel the frets at all. Very, very well done. Very, very nice. I love the finish. Absolutely love it. Fesley branded tuners. Very, very nice guitar. Very nice. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. We are going to get this thing on the bench and we're going to look at it and see if we can get a reading on the pickups. We are going to look at the action, the frets, take some measurements, and give you guys some specs on this guitar. So chill out just a moment. I'll be right back. Okay, so here we are on the bench. The first thing we're going to look at is the neck level. On this one has a whole lot of relief in it. So we're going to have to adjust that. I'm showing daylight from the 16th all the way up to the 5th. That's a lot of relief on that. So we're going to have to adjust that out, get that in good shape. Going to look at the measurement of the nut and the neck. Get my handy little caliper out here. It is zeroed out, as you can see. And the nut feels like bone. I'm not really sure about that, but let's look at the width at the nut. And we are looking at 1.69 inches or 42.93 millimeters. The width at the 12th fret, 52.66 millimeters or 2.07 inches. And at the 22nd, we're looking at 2.2 inches or 57.44 millimeters. Already, I am seeing a bit of a problem. For some reason, it seems like the high E and the low E seemed off-centered to the neck. I'm not sure if there is a way I am going to be able to fix that. Well, yeah, it looks a little off-center. Maybe if I change the strings, it'll straighten out. But right now, we are looking at on the low E. Well, let's tell you what. Let's do it with one of these cheap cards. They're good for something. We're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 millimeters from the low outside low E to the edge, and 3 millimeters on the high E. So that may be an issue. So let's check the output on the pickups. Okay, I'll set this right here. Plug it in. Yeah, 8.63 on the bridge. I was not looking forward to that. I was kind of hoping that this would be a little higher output than that. Middle position is 4.31. The neck position, 8.61. Seems like these two pickups are more than likely the same pickups. I've seen some people get these to have a lot higher in there. So these will probably be changed anyway. I'm just going to have to look into that at a later time. For what I give for this guitar, which was $119, they were on sale on Amazon, and I jumped on it. I can't really complain all that much as long as it's things that can be fixed, issues that I can take care of myself. But I do not like that. I do not like that the string spacing is a little off. That's something that I'm going to have to look into, possibly changing out this bridge. But I don't know yet. I am going to adjust the truss rod real quick. And I'm going to, for right now, just tune these strings up and give you a sound sample of that, what they sound like with these strings. And that way we can hear it right out of the box, because you guys know I like putting Didnt strings on my instruments. But I also want you out there that are considering getting a Fesley to hear what it sounds like right out of the box. All right, string pickers. Took me just a little bit to get this thing actually adjusted. The truss rod needed tightening way up. I mean, it was like that. And of course, these are still the same strings. I wanted you guys to hear these strings that come on this guitar. And so I left them on here. I tuned them up, adjusted the truss rod. The truss rod was way off. Put this good stuff on there. And once I got that straightened out, got extremely low action. The neck is going to need a shim, though. I think I will do that in another video. There's some things that I want to do to this guitar to actually help that part of it out. The pickups are gonna go. That's all there is to it. I'm not dealing with that mess. I mean, it's okay for clean tone, but for the articulation that I like out of my guitars for when I play metal, I'm just not into them. But again, that is a preference thing. That's subjective. That's not what everybody likes. Everybody may decide that this is, the cat's meow. You will have to do some work to it. I'm pretty sure. I don't know if I'm the only one that got one of these guitars that had the problems that it had right off the bat. Once I have set the truss rod and everything, the strings are still just a little off center. Looks fine up close to the nut, but when you get down to around the 12th, about from the 10th to the 12th fret is when you can start seeing that things are a little bit off as far as centering over the fretboard. It was intonated. I tuned it up, checked the intonation. It was intonated just fine. So maybe just have to order another bridge for this. That's maybe that I can adjust it somewhat. I'm not sure. But yes, here's a sound sample. So we're going to do clean on the bridge first. Let's go to the middle position. Now let's go to the neck. Okay, I'm going to check our tone knob. That's a little too dark for me. I may end up changing the capacitor, and the potentiometers will be changed. These are the small ones. Maybe. I'm not sure yet. I don't know. I may leave that capacitor. It sounds good. Let's check the volume. Yeah, that needs a treble bleed. That's halfway back. Quarter way. Yeah, may put a treble bleed in that. Okay, let's check some distortion sounds. It's got a lot of beef to it. Sounds like it's already out of tune. Let me check. These strings have probably not been stretched. I don't know. Maybe just put on there. Who knows? From the factory, it's always hard to tell. And plus, I adjusted the truss rod. Probably needing time for that to settle in too. Yeah, everything's up. G is out just a little. Okay, let's try this again. Let's take some of these effects off and see how it's going to act. It's got a lot of thump. Middle position. Neck. Yeah, I'm not too happy with the pickups. Needs to be a little hotter on the bridge. Now, up here around the neck, that one is okay where it's at, but on the bridge, it needs to be hotter. Let's try a little jam with it. Let's do that. Okay, let's go to a different effect on my headrush. Let's do the tight. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, let's try this effect and see how it sounds. I don't know. Let's go to final thoughts and opinions on this guitar, and let's talk about plans for the future for this thing to have a home here at Obscene Studios. Okay, let's go through some specs on the FLP400 by Fesley. I had to pull them up because I forget. Construction and materials are: neck is mahogany with an awesome satin finish. Doesn't have a very good handshake up here. I can reach the 24th fret on the low E string, but it is a bit uncomfortable. It's not tapered over, but that's something it's a given. It's not going to make or break my decision about this guitar. The body is poplar wood, probably the reason why it has such a warm sound that you heard just a minute ago. And the fretboard, some of them have a Purple Heart fretboard in other variations. So I am assuming this is Purple Heart because the only other one that I know of would be Maple that they list. 22 frets, and the frets are 0.094 inch size. And the scale length is 24 3/4, which pretty much guessed that. Pickups are two passive pickups that controls individual volume for each pickup and a single tone control. The switch is a three-way toggle. The tuners are an 18-to-1 gear ratio. The nut is plastic or bone. This feels like bone, even though I think it might be plastic. I'm not really sure. It just has a bone type of feel. No, that's plastic. This one has a plastic nut. It's a single cutaway with a C-shaped neck, which is comfortable. I like it in the hands. Black hardware on this thing, as you've seen. Let's see, it's beginner friendly. No, it's not. That is a downfall. This is not beginner friendly. A beginner guitarist is not going to know how to adjust a truss rod or even what a truss rod is. They're going to have to take this and set it up or have someone in their family to set it up. And it is an affordable option. Like I said, guys, I paid $119 plus tax for this guitar. So, with that being said, my thoughts and opinions are this. This thing is going to have a home here in the studio. It has a lot of potential. It is a great modded platform. I love the feel of it. I love how fast and smooth the neck is. The action, I was able to get down real low. We were at 1.5 millimeters on the top string, and we are at 1 on the bottom string. And the reason why I set it to 1.5 on the top string, I usually like it around 125. But when I take these strings off, I plan on putting on some D'Addario 9 to 46. which means that the 46 is going to be bigger than this one. I don't think that is a 46 at all. That may be a 42. I think these may possibly be 9s. I did have to adjust just a little bit on the bass side of the bridge. I turned it up a half a turn because I had a little bit of buzzing down here, and I didn't want to have to adjust the truss rod to compensate for that. Other than that, it has these small dime size potentiometers in it, but they feel good. So I'm not really sure if I want to change those out just yet. They're not real loose. They're good. They feel good when you turn them. The tuners feel real good too. I think the reason why it was falling out of tune a little during the demo of it is because these strings have not been played and stretched, which doesn't really matter because these strings are going to come off here anyway. I'm just going to put the Adarios on there. So as it shows up, my rating will be, out of 5 stars, a 3.8. And the reason why I say that is because this is introduced into the music world as a beginner-friendly guitar. This is not a beginner-friendly guitar. Even selling it for $119, people are going to have to go out and pay some luthier, some guitar tech at a guitar store, somebody to set this thing up. And if they're a beginner, 9 times out of 10, they're not going to have that knowledge themselves. So they're going to have to learn a whole lot about that. And if you have to do that right off the bat and you're having problems with too high of action, which this had really high action, it was over 2 millimeters on the low E. And on the high E, it was about 175, something like that. And that was in the middle. It was way up there, way, way up there. But as a beginner, you don't want to, you want to get a guitar that you can automatically start playing and feel good in hands, sound good, and you want to stick with that guitar for a long time, because as a beginner, you don't want to go out and pay $1,000 for a guitar when you can get one for 100 and something bucks that does look cool. I mean, this one's got the belly carve in it. It is contoured on the back here for that handshake I was talking about. It does allow you to get to the 24th on the top. Of course, I've got big old hands, but still in the back there is no contour here at all. It's just straight across and back. Has a bolt-on neck, no neck plate whatsoever. I plan on shimming that neck. Also plan on, like I said, changing the strings, and we are going to clean up the frets. The frets look okay. They just probably need a little bit of a polishing and conditioning the fretboard. We're going to take care of that too. And seeing what we can do with this thing to make it better. So probably going to have to get some pickups in the mail, change the pickups out on this, hopefully get maybe some 4-wire pickups, and put a push-pull in here so I can have really hot, but if I want to go back to the tones that you heard earlier, I can just split the pickups. I like 16K pickups. 15 to 16 is kind of my zone when I'm playing metal, you know, all that crazy bang your head until your neck breaks type of stuff. But I also like the tones that allow me to play like old Skinner and stuff from the 60s, 70s, 80s, you know, stuff like that. So yeah, 3.8. Fesley, I know you'll probably never see this video. If you do, I like what you're doing. I like what you're doing with these guitars, and I understand that when you ship them, you loosen the strings on them to keep, you know, the from hurting the neck or anything else on the guitar. But if it's going to be beginner friendly, the neck should be really good and flat when someone gets it. I've seen a lot of people get these guitars that were given to them by Fesley and never had to make any adjustments at all, which is, you know, in my opinion, that's a good thing. But now these, it only took me about 20 minutes. Yeah, and it's perfect now. It only took me about 20 minutes to get this straightened out, tuned up, truss rod adjusted, adjusted the bridge back here. But like I said, if I'm a beginner, I'm probably not going to know how to do those things. And then all I got is a cool looking guitar that I don't want to play because it's uncomfortable to play. So, guys, that's all I've got for you today. That is my review and part one of the Fesley FLP series. There will be more videos of this to come. We are going to dive into this thing and do some stuff, maybe change that tone capacitor just a little bit. I don't like it to get so dark. I like, if I'm playing with the tone knob and I'm jamming, and I want to dial it back to get just a little bit of low in there, I'd rather just dial it all the way to 0 instead of having to worry about where on the knob I need to go to get that right tone. So I may do that to it. So just because I give it a 3.8, I am not saying this is a bad guitar. It is, for me, a pretty decent guitar. I really like this guitar. It plays good. Sounds decent for the pickups it's got in it. I mean, you guys heard a minute ago, it's not bad at all. I really do like how it sounds just like this, but I want just a little bit hotter pickup in there. So that'll be coming in the future. And a couple other things that we may do to it here and there. We'll just have to dive into that when we get there. As always, guys, I appreciate each and every one of you so much. I pray that you are having the best day ever, and I pray that God is with you all. Until next time, later.